Hey there! Time for another Nitro here, my WCW 2001 save, as we roll on towards Ignition, the first pay-per-view of WCW in 2002, where Booker T will defend the WCW against Canyon, Billy Kidman will take on Ric Flair for the WCW US title, Lance Storm and Mike Awesome will face Yang and Noble, Diamond Dallas Page will face Vampiro, and some other fun matches will happen. But let's see the go-home show. So we start off with the pre-show in front of 4,581 people here at the Hythe Atlantic Center in Princess Anne, Maryland, where we got Elix Skipper and Kid Romeo defeating Air Raid and Norman Smiley and Ernest Miller in 1457. Actually kind of surprised Skipper and Romeo went over because Smiley and Miller are like these quasi-pushed guys. Anyway, Sal's got a 52, Pearce got a 45, Romeo got a 36, Skipper got a 43, Miller got a 44, and Smiley got a 54. Not a terrible match. A little worse than our pre-show match, last week, but, it's a pre-show match, not the end of the world. Anyway, to actually start the show, so, Diamond Dallas Page opens the show. He talks about how, he's the people's champion, about how, Vampiro took out Sting at Starrcade, but he's not going to fall as easily as, Sting did. He's going to feel the bang. Then he, improvises something, to make fun of Vampiro for being a face-painted freak. And says, it's not Halloween, it's New Year's. And, DDP parties all night long. So then Vampiro will come out, he'll do his spooky stuff. Talk about how, he's dominated Mexico, and now he's here in WCW. He destroyed one icon of WCW, and, he may talk about how, Diamond Dallas Page fights for the people, but Vampiro doesn't care about the people. He only cares about death and destruction. But yeah, so 99 A star, a fantastic, angle to sort of lead up to Ignition. DDP improvised well. Performance of DDP was good. Announcers was weak, but I can't really blame that on 99 A star segment. And the angle gained heat, really good. So now, in a non-title match, Cruiserweight Champion Yoshiro Tajiri defeated Lasharu in 427 with the Brainbuster. So just like last week, Kaz got an easy win. Now Tajiri gets an easy win. Yeah, Tajiri gets a 51. Pretty good for a guy who's not that over yet. And then just like this week, Taz comes out, and we got another stare down as announcers talk about their Cruiserweight title match at Ignition live on pay-per-view. Then we go backstage. We have basically all the babyfaces backstage as the announcers talk about a big 8-man match as the main event tonight. Now I'm going to say, basically there's a little bit of tension where, the Philly Animals are upset that Billy Kidman's, teaming with all these babyfaces instead of helping out, Ray Jr., Alex Wright and Dustin Rhodes are, both, sort of argue with Kidman that, Wright should have gotten the next title shot at the U.S. title shot after he was screwed by the Horsemen. Kidman says, he's happy to give either of them Wright a title shot after he beats Flair at Ignition. Rhodes and Booker talk about how you need to fight together, and eventually everybody sort of agrees they're going, to work to take out the Horsemen first tonight and then Ignition. Booker T came out looking excellent, and Torrie Wilson underperformed, and Kidman was underwhelming because again, Torrie Wilson's at this point is still just a hot chick, and Billy Kidman is Billy Kidman, but still 76 B-. Not a bad angle at all considering I, rated everybody because everybody actually got involved. No cheating for me. Then we got, Road Warrior defeating Chris Harris and James Storr to feature America's Most Wanted in, 4 minutes. This is just another squash. Road Warriors get 54 C-, and yeah, just a total squash. And, Hawk, why do you gotta be wasted on drugs? I'm trying to push you. I don't want to drop you out on the pay-per-view. I don't want to do that. Please, okay? Anyway, after the match, the Cincinnati Rollers come out with Disco, and they jump the Road Warriors. Not sure how well Hawk does, because he's wasted, but hey. 40-60. Again, this is a build-up to a match at the pay-per-view. If there still is going to be a match at the pay-per-view. This is WCW, so there's probably going to still be a match at the pay-per-view, because we don't care that much about people being on drugs. Then we have a backstage promo with Gene Okerlund, where he talks to Storm and Awesome, and they are, basically, they're super confident, Yang and Noble are talented guys, but the two cruiserweights, well, Lance Storm is a technical master. Mike Awesome is the most, fearsome force in WCW, and they're going to hold these tag team titles as long as they damn want, because they are from Canada. Again, that 43D, because Storm and Awesome, aren't actually that good at promos, but they are what they are. Now you have a 6-man match to basically build up to the pay-per-view. Chuck Palumbo and the Mamelukes defeat Buff Bagwell in 3 count in 7:22, when Palumbo beats Bagwell by pinfall with 49D+. So, yeah, this is basically 6-man to set up the Palumbo-Buff match at Ignition, and Palumbo gets the win. Straightforward. And then afterwards, Palumbo and Stacy celebrate while Buff fumes basically outside. And he's, talks about, Palumbo got lucky at Ignition that it's going to be different. Will it? Who knows? You'll just have to see. At Ignition, live on pay-per-view. That got 50-60 minus, because, again, Palumbo and Buff, better doing angle stuff than actually wrestling. Then we got a Sean O'Hare training video, basically, looking good, lifting weights, running in the ring, being, nameless jobbers, basically, putting him over that, after Palumbo and O'Hare had to break up, O'Hare is now training for, a full-time return. Basically, I didn't have anything to do from this month, so let's, get him over via training. 57C minus, not too bad. Next up, we've got Fit Finley defeating Sean Shazak in 16 with the Tombstone Pile Driver. I see this basically going, back and forth. Like last week, Don Marie tries to distract him, but Finley's older, and he doesn't care. He just picks up in Tombstone Sean Shazak to death with the Tombstone. And 65, Fit got a 62, Sean Shazak got a 51. Really solid match. And then, next up after the match, Stasiak and Jindrak attack Finley with Don Marie directing traffic. And then, Jet runs in and, makes the save, basically with a running crossbody on him. Both are something, fun like that. As the unders hype up that, these two, rising tag teams will face off against each other at Ignition, live on pay-per-view. Buy it. And then we go, the Horsemen. They're backstage. They're happy. They're partying. In the background is probably some lovely ladies found at, local gentlemen establishments throughout the week. They're about, after next week, Outcast's going to be gone. We're finally going to be rid of the Rhodes in WCW. Kenny will be world champion. Ric Flair will be U.S. champion. And, it's going to be a full-time party here with the Horsemen. Ric Flair got an 84B+, and yeah, Keenan and Ric Flair came out of this looking good because they're both awesome. Then we come back from commercial, and James Helms is, has an in-ring, and he's running down both Conan, his opponent for tonight, and Ray Jr., who says he's going to, finally end the mystique of Ray Jr. at Ignition once and for all, and, end his legend. Not too terrible, and also, because I forgot to do this one, he originally, went full-time into this character, I'm changing him into a prima donna. And his angle's great. Fantastic. Maybe he'll do better on promos now. Then we have a match. Shane Helms defeats Conan in 7:48 by pinfall using the ropes for leverage. So how I see this going is, back and forth. Helms cheats, hits a super kick, gets the pinfall, and barely gets a 3 even with the ropes of leverage. Because, I booked this for Conan to look strong because, of course, he complained about losing. But, really solid match. Not surprising this went well. And then, so basically, Conan will be woozy. He'll get up. Helms will go for the vertebreaker. Sort of talk about, this could break Conan's neck. And then Ray Jr. will run in and make the save. Okay, Conan's gimmick is getting stale. So, that might be something for the future. 64C+, not too bad. Or 64C, rather. The angle before was 68C+. The match itself was 68C+. Anyway, not too terrible. Can't complain, yet. Then we've got our big main event. And yeah, the 4 Horsemen. Drew with Booker, Kidman, Wright, and Rhodes in 1604 when the match descended into chaos. So this is an old-fashioned Nitro squash finish where basically everybody just starts fighting everywhere, brawling, chairs, and, the ref just throws it out. As the Unters, hype the hell out of the match. Back out! Well, nope, that's Jim Ross. He's on the other channel. So, Twin Shines, biggest night in history of our sport as, well, can Booker T retain the world title? Can Ric Flair become U.S. title champion for the first time in 20 years? will Jarrett and Douglas continue their domination over Wright and Rhodes? Etc., etc. So, yeah, really solid. Shane Douglas sustained a retrus nose. I don't know what that is. Hopefully it's not too bad. Thanks, Arn. And then, yeah, this is just the end angle. 8 minutes, just chaos. Just brawling, running around, fighting, and I'm just hyping up everything. So this got an 85B+, really good. Just, good as we can do. And yeah, this sets up the, pay-per-view lineup. So, yeah, so let's see here. And yeah, so the pay-per-view at this point is Booker taking on Canyon, Flair versus Kidman, Jarrett and Douglas taking on Rhodes and Wright. The tag titles being defended as Storm and Awesome take on Yang and Noble of Young Dragons. Sherry defends the Cruiser title against Kaz. Jet and Finley take on Stasiak and Palumbo. Chuck Palumbo faces down Buff Bagwell. The Road Warriors return to pay-per-view to take on the Sin City Rollers, and I'm sure there'll be other action. But yeah, so first, we'll come back to Raw, because there's a reason for that. But let's first start here. So yeah, we got more people, yeah. So let's see here. We got Chris Harris annoyed because Hawk was wasted on drugs. Again, totally understandable. Douglas was injured with the nose. And Bagwell's, well, there's a reason your moment is in the toilet, buddy, because you're Buff Bagwell. And we got a 9.73, really good. So, yeah. Dominic went to pay rise. Yeah, that's fine. You've been doing well. And Hawk, another fine. He's happy, so maybe he'll stop getting completely wasted. So let's look at the medical real quick. Yeah, so that's probably like a broken nose or like an injured nose, and it'll be fine for the pay-per-view. So yeah, the reason why I'm not showing you Raw yet is let's go to WWF, and let's go to the history, and let's go to Royal Rumble. So yeah, let's go over the Royal Rumble real quick. So it started out with Too Cool defeating Public Enemy, a confrontation between Undertaker and Triple H. I imagine this is like them both getting their Royal Rumble numbers and facing off. Tommy and Dreamer defeating Thrasher by DQ. A skit involving Steve Austin, Kane, and Benoit. Again, I'm imagining that's, them getting their, that's like probably Kane and Benoit getting their numbers and Austin coming in to laugh at them. Billy Gunn defeating Spike Gully by DQ. Supply and Demand defeating X Factor by DQ. Not great booking. Trish Stratus defeating Jacqueline to retain the women's title. Not bad. Marty Jannetty defeating Funaki to retain the light heavyweight title. And actually not bad match. Molly Holly defeated Taylor Matheny. For those of you who have no idea who Taylor Matheny is, because she was out of wrestling quickly, she was like one of the first Tough Enough winners. I don't even know what she did after this. Crash Holly defeated Viscera to retain the Hardcore title. We had a skit involving The Rock and Edge, so again, getting their numbers. And then we have a video involving Steve Austin and Devon, because for some reason Devon's the #1 contender. And yeah, Devon lost Austin, retained the WWF title. But, Devon is like a typical Royal Rumble level contender, especially at this point. Remember when Brock fought Bob Holly? Anyway, and Triple H won the Royal Rumble. And then, so the next night on Raw, we had Scott Hall defeating Devon. Wow, that's a quick down. Austin and Kane facing off. Kane defeating Farouk. Regal going to non-class with Perry Saturn. Molly Holly defeating Trish Stratus by TQ. And then Edge defeating Chris Jericho in the main event in a 99. Because, wow, okay. That actually makes me think. Did they actually set up Devon? Like, I know this, TEW is not the best at actually correctly going over. So let's see here. We had no. No. I mean, yeah, just no. Okay, that makes sense. Never mind. Of course it did it. I'd be shocked if he somehow did get a win over somebody. Anyway, so yeah. We're 6 days to the pay-per-view. We got, I think, a pretty solid show. Nothing too terrible. Scott Steiner and Sting are on their way back. Steiner from his quote-unquote suspension. Sting might be back from injury. Quick enough. As you saw, he has 17 more days of the rotator cuff. Um, and lots of good stuff. Booker T. Will he keep the world title? Who knows? You'll just have to watch out Ignition to find out. But thanks for watching. Drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe. Tell me what you like, what you don't like, and anything else. So have a good one.